All right, guys, so one of the biggest questions that remains unanswered about the C8 Corvette Z06 is the price. And I've recently been given kind of a confirmation of the price for the C8 Corvette Z06, so let's talk about it. All right, guys, so like I said there in the beginning, one of the biggest questions that still remains about the C8 Corvette Z06 is the starting price. Now, there is a lot to be covered here. There's a lot of different options, and there's a lot of different pricing to really look at and really compare, because just like everything with the C8 Corvette so far, it follows suit with the C7 Corvette setups. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth between the C7 and the C8 on pricing details a lot here. But at the end, you're going to understand why the pricing is going to be what it's going to be. So anyway, guys, we're going to jump right into this one. I have talked to two different salesmen at two different dealerships, and both of them have given me the same price. I'm not going to put anybody's name out there just yet because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, because there is a chance that this information was given to them from the higher ups at GM and not supposed to be given back to the customer. So in this situation, no names are going to be given, but I have two different dealerships giving me the same piece of information, and that is $87,000. So the reason I said in the beginning that it was kind of confirmed is because I have two different dealerships, two different salesmen telling me the exact same number. So I'm going to go ahead and say it is confirmed. It is going to be $87,000 to start. That is obviously before options, before your Z07, before your 3LZ, before your carbon fiber wheels, all of that stuff. So this is the base Z06 will cost you $87,000. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about why I believe this number is legit, other than the fact that it's coming from two different salesmen at two different dealerships that obviously have some sort of connection because they work for GM. But even without that stuff added into this, we can actually dig through the previous release with the C7 Corvette and then the C7 Corvette Z06 and attach those numbers to the C8 Corvette Z06, and it adds up to the exact same thing. So let's dig deep into this one, and let me show you why that $87,000 starting price for the C8 Corvette Z06 makes perfect sense. But before we do, guys, if you could please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so I can continue to create this stuff for you guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps the channel, and it helps YouTube circulate this video out to all the other automotive enthusiasts out there. If you could also subscribe while you're at it, I would greatly appreciate that as well. It will definitely make sure you don't miss any future videos like this one. So in late 2013, Chevy announced the Corvette Stingray, and of course, it was a very awesome departure from the C6. Everybody wanted one, so of course we were all paying markups and everything just like we are now with the C8. It wasn't quite as bad with the Stingray because there wasn't any kind of chip shortages or anything, but people were still spending naturally $10,000 to $15,000 over MSRP, but the core price started at $51,995. That is before options of any kind whatsoever. So $51,995. Fast forward 1 year later, Chevy announces the 2015 C7 Corvette Z06. That price was announced to start at $78,995. So again, before options, you were getting the base C7 Corvette Z06 for $78,995. So via the power of mathematical equation, we take $78,995 minus $51,995, and we were left with a difference of $27,000. So the C7 Corvette Z06 was a $27,000 price jump in the starting price. Now, we can attach that same number to the C8 Corvette. Now, there's a little bit more of a date range between the base C8 and the Z06 version, but you guys got to remember, the C8 Corvette Z06 was initially supposed to come out in 2021. The leaked documents shortly after the C8 Corvette base model came out showed that the Z06 was coming out a year later, just like it did with the C7, but because of COVID, the pandemic, the shortages, it got pushed back at least one more year. Now, the C8 Z06 is coming out as a 2023 model, but we will see it in 2022, so I say it's only 1 year later because it was originally supposed to be out in 2021. With all of that aside, with all of that said, the C8 Corvette in 2020 came out, and it blew everybody away because the starting price for a car that could hit 60 in under 3 seconds, and it looked like a Ferrari, was $59,995. So that was only $8,000 more than the previous generation started at, a whopping 7 years prior. So we can take that number and we can add the difference in the price between the base C7 and the C7 Z06, and we come out with an exact $86,995. So basically, the base model C8 Corvette of $59,995 plus your $27,000 price jump for the C8 Z06 is going to put you right at the $87,000 mark. And this is the number that I have heard from 2 different dealerships that I trust and 2 different salesmen at those 2 different dealerships. And the number makes sense. Now, the only difference here, the only thing that I could possibly see skewing this in any way, shape, or form is inflation. So if this gets skewed in any way, we're still looking at a Z06 that starts at 90 or less. So there is no way that this C8 Corvette Z06 starts at anything above $90,000. Based on everything else that GM has done with the C8 Corvette in general, has always followed suit with how they did it with the C7 Corvette. A lot of people have asked me, hey, how did you know such and such was going to happen before it actually happened? And honestly, I have no inside connection at GM, other than being pretty close with some salesmen at certain dealerships. So I don't hear any whisperings from the top end of GM, but at the same time, everything has been the same. So they come out with the base model. Right afterwards is the Z06. After that is going to be the E-Ray. After that is going to likely be a Zora or a ZR1. It's always the same release schedule with GM. They did it exactly the same. They followed suit with everything. I did a video a little while ago talking about the Z07 package on the C8 Corvette, and it was all led to be true just because it was following suit with the C7 Corvette. So all the options that the C7 Z06 added were pretty much the same with the C8 Corvette Z06 minus carbon fiber wheels. If you look at the history with Chevy and releasing the Corvettes and their performance variants and even the pricing, it always stays the same. Like I said, other than inflation, there is no way that this car starts at anything more than $90,000. Now, we can dive even deeper than this. What we can do next is actually dive into the pricing of all of the options, because they are all likely to stay right around the same as well, because they did with the C8 base car. So let's talk about the difference in price with the 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ, and the Z07 package Z06, because that's going to be what is on a lot of people's minds. I want to see what the pricing from the C7 Corvette Z06 tells us about the C8 Z06 and where it's going to max out at. Digging deeper into the price of the C7 Corvette Z06, we have a couple different things popping up. Number one is going to be the 2LZ and 3LZ price addition. So 2LZ was an additional $3,270. The 3LZ was an additional $8,650. So we're going to kind of build the most expensive possible C8 Corvette Z06 with the options that I can accurately compare from the C7 Corvette Z06. What that means is we are starting at an $87,000 price point with the C8 Corvette Z06. So with $87,000, we're going to add the most expensive 3LZ package at $8,650. And that brings us up to $95,650. So as you can see, this thing is going to get expensive very quick. Now this, of course, is for the coupe Z06. If you wanted to get the convertible, you are talking about an additional price as well. So for that, we're going to go ahead and add the difference in price from the C8 base model car, because that is likely to be accurate. If you wanted to get the C8 Corvette Z06 in convertible, you would add an extra $7,500 to the $87,000 price, getting you up to $94,500 pretty quick. That is before options again. Next is going to be the Z07 Performance Package. So as you guys know, the Z07 is absolutely insane looking on the C8 Corvette Z06. If we compare the price from the C7 Corvette Z06, we'll know it's going to be right around an $8,000 option. So from the C7 Corvette, it was $7,995. So we will add that to our already pretty high $95,000 price. And of course, that brings us up to $103,645. Now, for $103,000, we are getting a Z07 3LZ car. So that's it. Other than that, no other options have been checked. Now, the Z07 package car did include carbon flash ground effects, but it did not include the exposed carbon fiber ground effects. So if you wanted those, that would be an additional $3,995. So we'll go ahead and add that on there as well, bringing us up to $107,640. Additionally, if you wanted to add competition seats, on the interior, the GT2 seats are likely to come standard again with the 3LZ package. If you wanted to bump up to the competition seats, you're talking about an additional $1,995. So I'm going to go ahead and add that on there as well, just because we're trying to load this thing out to see where we can max this price out. At some point, we're going to get into some options that I have absolutely no idea what they're going to cost, but we're just going to kind of wing that part and see where this thing lands. So with the competition seats added on, we are at $109,635. Now, where things start to get really interesting is the carbon fiber additions on this car. So you guys have seen the pictures of the Z07 package car with all of that carbon fiber on the interior. So basically the base C8 Corvette had 4 different pieces of carbon fiber that were added with the carbon fiber interior trim package. And those pieces are a lot smaller than the level 2 carbon fiber package that's offered now for the Z06 and the 2023 base C8 Corvettes. What I'm getting at basically is that option for the base C8 Corvette was $1,500. So level 1 is still likely to be around that same price. So we're going to add an additional $1,500 to this. But I'm interested in the level 2, which is very likely to be at least double that price. So we're going to go with a $3,000 carbon fiber option here for the entire interior. So that whole center console, the doors, up onto the what they call the hockey sticks up onto the dashboard. I'm thinking it's going to be right around $2,900 to $3,000. So with that added on, we are now at $112,635. Like I said, this thing's getting expensive quick. Now, to move even further into the carbon fiber realm, we can add on the engine appearance package, which of course for the base C8 is just those 2 pieces of carbon fiber on the outsides of the engine bay and your lighting up at the top. That option cost us an additional $995. Now, this is going to be a 2-part kind of cost here because the engine appearance package for the C8 Z06 is likely to be the same price as it was for the base C8, but there is also a giant carbon fiber engine cover that will go on top of this. So for now, we're going to add the $995 to our total price, bringing it up to $113,630. The painted engine covers for the base C8 Corvette started at $599. I'm thinking this one's going to start at $999. So it's going to be about an additional $1,000 for the carbon fiber one. So on top of the $1,000 engine appearance package, you're going to get another $995 at least for that carbon fiber engine cover, bringing our total up to $114,625. Now, there is a lot of talk I've seen online about the front end lift being standard on the Z06, so I'm not going to price in that because I do believe every Z06 is likely to get that option just because all of them are going to have some sort of front lip. The same applies to the magnetic ride control, so all of the Z06s are likely to get that same option as well. That should not be a separate checkable or uncheckable option. The Z07 that GM has showed off in the yellow color also has a visible carbon fiber roof, which is an additional $1995. So added $1995 to our already very high total, it brings it up to $116,620. There are a couple other little options that I think would easily bring this thing to right around $120, which is where I thought it would be initially. But the big expense is going to be, of course, the carbon fiber wheels, which I have actually been told are going to be close to $20,000 as an option, but something inside me tells me that it is going to actually be closer to $10,000. So GM likes to give us these options at a little bit less of a price than what most people think usually. I'm thinking these wheels are going to come in at $9,995. So right under $10,000, and it's really going to only come in at that price if you already have a Z07. Without the Z07, I think it might be a little bit more expensive because I have been told that apparently you can get the carbon fiber wheels without the Z07 package when I thought initially that was not the case. So if we add that to this price, the $9,995 for the carbon fiber wheels, which is about half of what I'm being told the cost is probably going to be, so we could be an additional $10,000 on this. We are very close to $130,000 with this car. Initially, I thought this car would max out somewhere between $130 and $150, and we are exactly at $130. So again, a lot of these prices make sense when you compare them with the C7 Corvette Z06 pricing and the difference between the C7 Stingray and the C7 Z06. Apply that to the C8 Stingray and the C8 Z06. You're getting a really accurate picture of what this thing is likely to cost. Like I said, guys, some of this has been confirmed by other salesmen and dealerships that I know at the $87,000 price range. And whenever I came home and started adding numbers up, it really started to make sense. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so we can continue to do this for you guys. I really want to share all this information with you because I know you guys are as excited about this car as I am. So let me know down below, what are your thoughts on the new pricing for the C8 Corvette Z06? Of course, this is all going to be confirmed very soon by GM, but if I had to guess, we are within a couple dollars of what this thing is going to actually cost. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of content like this coming you're not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.